If you guys are looking for some cheap coins on FC25, make sure you check out MMOEXP.com. Their link is down in the description. They're fast, cheap, and reliable. And if you use my code REMA, you can get yourself a lovely 5% discount. So, what's up guys, it's Ash here and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. In today's video guys, we have the updated tactics for the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow with the player roles of course. Just before we start the video, I would just like to put this out there, like if you notice a small drop off in the amount of videos being posted temporarily over the next few weeks and that, it is just because I will be, starting a new position somewhere and I'm going to have to, dedicate a bit of time. So I just wanted to keep you guys updated without giving too much information and stuff like that. But yeah, we should be fine. I'll try and do as much as I can, but it's just a little update for you guys that are interested. And yeah, with all that aside guys, let's get right into the video. I hope you enjoy. Okay then guys, so starting off with the tactics. For the tactical preset, ensure you have this on custom. This is so you can make all of the changes that are necessary. If you have it as one of the EA presets, you can't make all of the changes and modifications that you would like, so just ensure you do have it on custom so you can actually make all of those changes that are required. For the formation guys, we are using the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow like I said, so this is the one with the two center mids as opposed to the left mid and the right mid. My favorite variation by far, because you can play nice little triangles and stuff like that, as well as just playing really direct. So I love the 2 center mid one. It feels like it's not as open, but yeah, that's the one we're going to be using. For the build-up style guys, I really like having this on balance because I feel like it's the most consistent and varied. So when you use balance guys, essentially sometimes your players will come short and other times they'll make those runs in behind. So it's like a mixture of both. Whichever is right at the time. So I like balance, but if you guys prefer counter or short passing because that's something you're used to or more comfortable with, then go with that. That's absolutely fine. There is no correct way to do this. For the defensive approach, now I've said a few times in videos, I originally started on balance, so we had it on 50, the default. When I used this, I thought it was a little bit too open, I thought there was a bit too much space between my back line and my midfield. It felt like my opponent just had way too much space to attack, so I didn't like it. And then I tried aggressive, where I really enjoyed having that higher defensive line. It just felt like my players were always pressing out of control automatically, so I didn't really like that either. So I kind of went for something in between and just used the high preset, and it's worked a lot better for me because we still have that high defensive line which I was on about, so there's not as much space between the midfield and the defense. We just have a bit more control over when we press our opponents. So high has worked for me, but if you guys want to use something else, that is also fine, of course. Now, moving on to the player roles. So without the ball, one thing you guys should know, whichever formation you're basing your tactics off, so in this case, like we said, it's the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, whichever formation you're using, without the ball, it will always defend in that default shape. So you can see here, it's just the default 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. You can't change that. It's always going to be defending in the formation that you've chose. So that's what it looks like without the ball. And then with the ball, it looks a little bit more like this for me. We're going to quickly talk about why I do what I do. So on this right striker, in my case Diego Forlan, I have him on advanced forward. The reason I do this is because it's a versatile striker. So when you have somebody on advanced forward, they kind of do a bit of everything in the attack. Sometimes they'll make those runs in behind, other times they'll drop a bit deeper to help out in the build-up and things like that. So I really like advanced forward. It's probably my favourite role on a striker, to be honest with you, and that's why I have it on the right striker. On the left striker, I'm using Griezmann, and I've popped him on false 9. This is just to help a little bit with the build-up sometimes, and he does have that role plus, which means he's very good at it. But sometimes as well, I will just rock both of them on advanced forward, and that works fine. So I would advise, if you've got players with both the plus or the plus, you can just use them both on advanced forward, but it's not an absolute necessity. You can use what you want, but that is what I would advise, or false 9 like I've done here. For the cam, I really like Playmaker. I feel like the players are the cams are the most creative when they're on this Playmaker role. A lot of the attacks will go through this player, which is really, really nice. If you've got somebody with the role plus or plus, you will notice a difference, especially in this position here. Another thing people like to do is pop them on Shadow Striker. This is good as well if they've got the role plus or plus, as they do make those darting runs in between those two strikers, and you do get a lot of chances that way. So I would say Playmaker or Shadow Striker, whichever one you prefer. For both of the wide centre mids, so the right centre mid here and the left centre mid, I like to have them both on box to box. So this means they're going to be very much up and down the pitch, as you can see from the heat map. They attack, they defend. So what I would suggest about these two players is trying to get as many well-rounded players as you can in these two centre mid spots, because you want them to be good at pretty much everything. So the SBC Thuram's a very good one with like 80 in pretty much every stat, as well as this Evo Sissoko, or the Foundation card, you know what I'm on about. These two cards are very good, for example, so I like box to box on both of them. For the DM, I just like holding. I think it's really, really nice to have. They're like that guardian in front of the back line. They kind of just sit a bit behind your attackers when you're going forward. You're able to, you know, pass back to them. You're able to keep possession, and then when you lose the ball, they're always there in front of that back line to intercept passes and things like that. So I think a holding DM is very, very important. I know some people also like to put them on like centre half to make it like a back five when you're on the ball. You can do that if you want, but I don't deem it necessary. Now, for both of the fullbacks, what I would do if you've got players that fit these roles, I would put them both on wing back. The reason we do this is because you will get width in the attack. The 4-1-2-1-2, without these, if you just take out the fullbacks for a second, you'll see it is a very, very narrow attack, which is not always good because you can get trapped by your opponent. So by having them both on wing back, it does give you that extra width to stretch out the opponent, gives you an easy switch of play, and does make attacking a little bit easier and more unpredictable. The reason I have the left back, however, on fullback ++ is because, like I said, Lizarazu has that role ++, so he's a little bit better at that role for me, and it doesn't make too much of a difference. But I would advise, if you can, wing back on both of them. You can do attacking wing back as well, again, if you have the players that have the role plus, because they will track back pretty quickly. Just know it is a little bit more aggressive and a bit harder to defend. For those two centre backs, guys, I just leave them on the defender role. I don't like stopper and I don't like ball playing defender, so I just leave them alone. And the goalkeeper, I just have them on goalkeeper as well. But yeah, guys, they're my tactics and instructions for the 4-1-2-1-2. I hope you guys have enjoyed or found it useful. If you have, please be sure to drop this video a thumbs up, sub to the channel if you are new, and don't forget to turn on those notifications. And yeah, with all that aside, guys, hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out, guys. Take care.